What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nerdgasm. Today we're going to be talking about the first episode of Gifted on Fox. And you know what? The Gifted finally launched, and it was better than expected for a TV show about people with superpowers. I thought that this would go south fast, but they actually managed to get me pulled in with the story, and they pulled off some decent special effects. Go Marvel. The first mutant that we run into is Blink, who is doing a great job as the new mutant on the block who is terrified of the police. Her looks are a little bit different from her comic book counterpart, and I'm not just talking about the Age of Apocalypse version of Blink. She's much less confident, very early years, but the hair dye helps sell her appearance, and she is sporting the classic green eyes look. I mean, look at that. It's freaking awesome. I love that. You guys definitely know that people are going to be freaking cosplaying this character, and I'm okay with that. I would love to see that. Her powers are very unfocused here in the series, which is fine because at first, Blink did not have full control of her powers in the comics. It took her a while, unless, again, you're going by the Age of Apocalypse Blink, then she was a badass. This Blink acts and looks more like the version they used in X-Men Days of Future Past, but the way she used her powers in that movie was more similar to the Age of Apocalypse version because she was throwing the portals. She didn't get enough screen time, which is not okay. Blink was awesome, and she should have got more screen time in that movie, but it was more about setting up the young X-Men, whatever. Comics did young X-Men better. Then we move on to a mutant who is finally getting some recognition, Polaris, the daughter of Magneto, the Empress of Magnetism. And her hair is not green here, like it is in the comics. But guess what? Her powers are green, so that makes up for the whole thing, a little bit, right? Green powers. Don't ask questions. Her powers are pretty much the same as Magneto's, and she doesn't have the bloodlust to kill all the humans like Magneto does. But, I mean, in Magneto's defense, which is a horrible way to defend a killer, in Magneto's defense, you know, the Holocaust kind of fucked them up, so, So it's kind of cool that Polaris, doesn't have her father's bloodlust. But apparently, according to this show, she will fuck up the police. Next, we have Thunderbird, who is a mutant with super strength and an amazing tracking ability. Before you ask, he's Native American. And the reason I mention this is because when he was created, it was very important to his character, as you can see by his costume in the comics. As for Polaris' baby daddy, the guy was created solely for this show. The one who has, the palm flashbangs. He does not have a comic book counterpart. And it's not a problem. They can introduce new awesome people. But just so you guys know, this guy is very love-struck, and he will get this team fucked up. I am promising you that now. I mean, he did it. Episode 1, he got the whole team fucked. Just look at it. It's crazy. Then we get the Strucker siblings, which, if you know what Strucker is, then you should get some worry. Because Strucker is one of the most terrifying names to come across in the Marvel Universe. But here they actually seem okay. Also, these kids are nothing like the Fenris twins' counterparts from the comic books. They have separate powers, and they don't have the Euro accents, so honestly, it's pretty much a free ball with this new version of the Strucker family. One has telekinesis, the other one can create force fields, but it looks a little bit more complicated than force fields because she said she can, push air and water and stuff together, so. And yes, in the comic books, they are horrible criminals, but who knows, by the end of the season, they might freaking decide to be criminals. One of the biggest shout-outs to the X-Men comics was the Sentinel services. If you guys know about X-Men, then you know that the Sentinels are robots that they sent after mutants to help keep the humans safe. And early on, it was difficult to destroy one of these robots because, they were supposed to be the biggest enemy they could face other than Magneto. Here, they don't have giant building-sized robots, but they do have these terrifying, nightmare-fueled tiny spider bots which try to flip and take a leg off. So, that was cool to see and fucking terrifying and terrifying. But the best Easter egg in this entire episode, other than the fact that Stan Lee is walking out of a bar, because you know what? Anytime we see Stan Lee is awesome. It was the 90s X-Men ringtone that went off on Marcos' phone.
My bad.
Hello.
That had me losing it. Oh my God, the second I heard that, I was like, wait, what? I'm pretty sure I was looking at my phone when that popped up, and then I looked up, and I was like, what? Oh shit. It would have been even better if, when I looked up, they were watching the cartoon, but because, the X-Men actually exist here. They talk about the X-Men and the Brotherhood, and they don't know where either of them are. So that would have been cool to see if they just decided to do what Old Man Logan did with the X-Men comics, and then they had the freaking 90s X-Men TV show here. That would have been great. I know that they know that we would know exactly where that ringtone came from. And if you didn't, you're missing out on an awesome series. Go check it out. It covered so many sagas from amazing comic book arcs. It was so true to just a bunch of stuff. And yes, because I know someone's going to mention this, it was awesome how they had the sign blinking and technically it spelled out X's Tavern instead of Texas Tavern. I mean, it's cool. It's all right, because X-Men always have X everything. The X Jet, the X Mansion, the Danger Room. There's an X somewhere in Danger Room, probably. But the ringtone, guys, come on, the ringtone. That was the best part. You know it. Having watched this first episode, I'm probably just going to throw The Gifted show into the Nerdgasm recap section. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with my speech? I'm very sleep deprived. I'm going to throw it into that section, guys. So we'll still be covering The Gifted. And if you guys want, we will talk about stuff that you guys need to know about separately. I can do videos for that. Or I might just throw it in there in the Nerdgasm recaps. While I'm recapping the episode, just boom, quick facts about what this is, where it's from, who they are, why they're there, and all that good stuff. I love your support. I love all of you for just being freaking awesome, and you guys make this worth doing. I appreciate it. I can't say that enough because, you know, there's just no number, and I'm just going to sound like a freaking creeper. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.